What's happening, everybody? We welcome you to a playoff edition of San Diego Prep Insider. Christian Pedersen, joined by Tommy Morris and Bodie De Silva. Bodie is joining us on behalf of Scorebook Live, the official digital content provider of all things high school sports. Bodie has big things to push that he is coming out with articles previewing and predicting all of his champions. He is not going to give that to us here. He's just going to give us first round action. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to do this 5AA to open. So depending on what team you are looking for, you might need to skip ahead appropriately. We're going to try and get it all done in 20.
No, never skip. Watch everything.
Watch everything. I don't know. After seeing Eric Sonheimer go after people in the Southern section, I'm just trying to be very watch what you want to watch. I don't care.
Watch what pertains to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's start with 5AA, guys. Foothills Christian. Let's see. I am on the wrong it's Division
Holtville.
Yeah, sorry, Holtville and St. Joseph's Academy. I guess shout out to Foothills Christian St. Joseph's for getting buys in Division 6. In 5AA, Holtville and Army Navy are through to the next round. Nothing to talk about there. Rock Academy, Maranatha is the 4-5. Calipatria, Tri-City Christian, that's the 3-6. Let's start with that Rock Academy, Maranatha Christian. Bodie De Silva, your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I'll take Maranatha to get through here, but ultimately I think this is a bracket where it's tough to pick anyone other than the two that have their buys. But I think Maranatha gets this opening one and they'll make the trip to Holtville.
Tommy Morris?
I will say this: I'm happy that CIF is not have the same rules as NCAA. In NCAA, when you go up from FCS to FBS, you're no longer eligible for playoffs for I think like 4 years. The Rock does not have to do that, going from 8-man to 11-man. So cool they get to be in the playoffs right away. I like the Rock here. I like Donald Moore III, one of the best athletes that we don't get to talk about enough in the county. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing. He's got some receiving yards. I think he's got, just off the top of my head, I think he's got somewhere around like 17 or I think he's got like 20 total touchdowns, somewhere around there, if I'm not mistaken. So I like the Rock here, and I like Donald Moore III.
Calipatria, the 6, traveling to take on number 3, Tri-City Christian. Tommy, will stay with you.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go with the favorite here. I'm going to go with Tri-City. It's a home game. That's a far trip from Calipat all the way up to Vista. I like Tri-City here.
Bodie De Silva, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's Tri-City for me as well here. I think they're one that maybe can give Army Navy a game if they can get by Calipatria in that second round there. But ultimately, I would definitely favor 1 and 2.
On to the Division 5 brackets. These are 18. This one is 8 teams this year after some reshuffling between 5 and 5AA. So no buys in this round. Number 1, Vincent Memorial takes on number 8, Valhalla. Number 4, Hoover takes on number 5, Monte Vista. Number 3, El Cajon Valley plays host to number 6, Kearney. And number 2, Sweetwater plays number 7, Southwest El Centro. We'll start with that 1-8 game with Vincent Memorial and Valhalla. Bodie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is one of the rare ones where I'm not going to pick Valhalla, but I think in a 1-8 you automatically just assume that one's going to run through. I think Valhalla can give them a game, but I will get Vincent Memorial moving on here.
Tommy Morris, you like the road doggies sometimes. You taking this one?
No, I like Jacobo Elias, the quarterback for Vincent Memorial. He's got over 2,000 yards passing, over 1,000 yards rushing. 20 touchdowns through the air, 9 on the ground. This, again, tough trip going all the way out the desert. We don't get to see Vincent Memorial much here in the city, but I like them. And, it's always cool seeing these teams in the playoffs so we can really see what they're all about. I like Vincent Memorial.
Yeah, fun getting new matchups anytime you get those in the playoffs. We got Hoover and Monte Vista. Bodie De Silva, your thoughts here?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely Hoover here. They have really big offensive weapons. Sir who we've talked about, 29 touchdowns, and Xavier Williams, 17 touchdowns. So those two have combined for 46 of their 54. I think they get off to a good start here.
Tommy Morris.
Yeah, I would say that Sir might be the best player in this bracket. I don't think that's a stretch to say that. So I'm going to go the best player here on a team that I think has a very real chance to win this whole bracket, and it's Hoover.
Other side of the bracket, we got number 3, El Cajon Valley playing host to number 6, Kearney. Tommy, I'm curious your thoughts here.
This is a tough one. You've got a very explosive offense for Kearney. El Cajon Valley's got, has played some tough games. I like Kearney in this one. I like Stump here. Maybe the best quarterback in this bracket. If I'm going to give Sir Autry the best athlete or best all-around player in this bracket, I'm going to go with Kearney on the road.
Bodie De Silva, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I agree here as well with Kearney. Brody Stump, 31 touchdown passes, and I believe 6 more on the ground for him. So, I think Kearney will find a way to get this one done. First round road team.
Last game in Division 4, number 2, Sweetwater, number 7, Southwest El Centro, Bodie Silva.
Yeah, I think Sweetwater here. I think they were tested enough in league play to get through where maybe next round it's something different, but I do trust Sweetwater at least in the first round here.
Tommy Morris, close us out on this division.
I hate just agreeing with Bodie the whole time, but I'm going to have to agree with Bodie. I got Sweetwater here.
That's why I try to at least get you guys go front and back sometimes on these different games. On to Division 4, Mount Miguel, Santana, Westview, Chula Vista, all on to the next round. Nothing to say here other than congrats to them. First round games are going to be the 8 Calexico playing host to number 9 Escondido. Orange Glen, the number 12, is going to play Crawford. Bonita Vista, the number 6, is going to play host to Coronado. And then number 7 Olympian is going to play number 10 Escondido Charter. Let's start with that 8-9 game, Calexico and Escondido. Tommy Morris, your thoughts?
I like Escondido, new coaching staff up there doing a good job. I think they have a real chance to do some damage in this bracket. I got Escondido.
Bodie De Silva.
Yeah, I agree as well. I know Escondido was playing better early on. I think with a younger team, they can get and probably a smaller roster, you can get a little tired at the end of the year. But I think Escondido finds a way to go on the road and get this one done.
Next game, we got Orange Glen and Crawford squaring off. Bodie De Silva, will stay with you.
Yeah, I was impressed that win Crawford picked up against Mission Bay late in the year. I think that was one that caught a lot of people off guard. I know there's been a lot of movement with Crawford, players transferring out, not having, I mean, they're never going to have a roster of 70, 80 kids, but I think Crawford gets this one done here.
Tommy Morris.
Yeah, I like Crawford. Probably one of the bigger wins in recent memory, I would say, when Crawford beat Mission Bay a couple weeks back. They carry that momentum over to the playoffs, and I think they'll be a tough matchup for Santana as well. I like Crawford.
Moving on to number 6, Bonita Vista, and number 11, Coronado. Both of these teams seem like a tough out. Tommy, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I like Bonita Vista here. I'm going to go with the Barons. They've played a pretty tough schedule, so don't really look at the stats and take it for what it's worth. But a good running game. I believe that they had some sort of issue at quarterback last week. I'm not really sure, but they had Caden Tannehill playing some quarterback last week, so I'm not sure if there's an injury problem or whatever. I got to do more research on that. But I do like Bonita Vista here in the first round.
Bodie De Silva.
I agree as well. Bonita was off to a 4-1 start, then alternated wins and losses in the league, but we know they're going up against some tough competition in league. Eastlake, a team, got better at the end of the year, Mater Dei Catholic. So I think that'll have them tested, and I think Bonita gets through and past Coronado here.
Finally, to close out the Division 4 bracket, we got number 7 Olympian and number 10 Escondido Charter. Bodie De Silva, let's start with you.
Yeah, for me, it's Olympian here. I think that's one of the ones. Just kind of trusting what they saw in league play, what they did in league play, going 3-0 there at the end, and after kind of an up and down start, but they've tested themselves. They've played Westview, they've played Grossmont, they've played some teams in higher divisions, teams with higher seeds, that'll get them ready for this point.
Tommy Morris, close this on out.
I kind of want to go with the upset here, if we can call it an upset, because it is what we got here.
It is an upset. 10-7.
Yeah, we upset 10-7. I mean, it's 10-7, but you got Patterson for Escondido Charter, who's got 1,300, excuse me, not 113, 1,300 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns. It's a lot of 13s there, sorry. So I think that Escondido Charter has a chance to control the ball, control the clock, and pull out again, 10-7 isn't really an upset, kind of, but I like it.
Is an upset. He likes him. Tommy likes him. I said earlier in the show, he likes the road doggies. Way to go with it, Tommy. On to Division 3, Mission Bay, Grossmont, West Hills, Fallbrook all get the first round buys. Congratulations to all those teams for great years. First round of games we're going to get to talk about here is number 8, Patrick Henry, and number 9, El Cap. Number 5, SFC. Number 12, San Diego. Number 6, La Jolla Country Day. Number 11, Morris. And number 7, Imperial. Number 10, Valley Center. Let's start with that 8-9, that Patrick Henry versus El Cap game. Seems like two teams that have had both decent wins and some, more questionable losses. We'll start with you, Bodie De Silva.
Yeah, I'm going to go with El Cap here. A weird kind of losing streak early on in the season, but I think ultimately I trust their offense to put up enough points. I think this is going to be a really close game. I'm going to say 31-28. I'll give you an exact score here. El Cap gets it done first round.
Tommy Morris.
Well, one team's got potentially the greatest of all time and Michael Jordan on the team. I know it's not the same one, but Patrick Henry's got a kid named Michael Jordan wearing number 23, which I think is hilarious, but he's also a good football player. I like Patrick Henry here. And El Cap probably has the star power, but I think all around, dude for dude, if you had to average it out, Patrick Henry's got the advantage here. So I like the favorite. the 8 seed. And they'll be wearing those Jordan jerseys probably too, because they're at home.
Those are great jerseys.
There you go. Number 12, San Diego playing host to number 5, Santa Fe Christian. San Diego getting hot at the end of the year. They're going to keep it going in the playoffs. Let's start with you, Tommy Morris.
I like Santa Fe Christian here. Kind of a weird stat line if you look at it for Santa Fe Christian standards. You kind of assume there's going to be one dude with a bunch of rushing yards and then not so much passing. But this year's been pretty even. He's been at quarterback, done a great job. 11 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. On the ground as a team, they've got 18 rushing touchdowns. So again, pretty even offensively. I like Santa Fe Christian here. This is what you would call a quote unquote rebuilding year for them, but I think they have a chance to get pretty far in the playoffs.
Bodie DeSilva, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think San Diego pushes Santa Fe Christian here, but ultimately I think the Eagles get it done. I know they've had some difficulty there at the end of the year in league play, but we know Bishops is a team that gets a lot out of what they have. I saw first half of that game, and Bishops was impressive, but I think Santa Fe had some mistakes. They'll get cleaned up and get this first round win.
A little bend, but don't break, it sounds like. Number 6, Country Day playing host to number 11, Morris. Let's start with you, Tommy Morris, being Country Day's number 1 most notable and successful alumni in history. I'm assuming you're going with the Tories?
Yeah, well, ignore the Heisman Trophy winner and the kid that started 4 years at Division I quarterback. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Tories here. A little shakeup of quarterback. They put Levin in for Mangini. I'm not sure if that was an injury thing or if they're just trying to change the strategy up a little bit. But for whatever they're doing, it's working. Morris has had kind of a tough year, some injury problems, lower roster numbers than they normally have. I like Country Day here just because I think they have an ability to air it out and kind of pick apart this Morris defense.
Bodie DeSilva, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think Country Day's been tested. They got that Bishops game out of the way. They played Santa Fe Christian to a 1-point game there at the end. And I think La Jolla Country Day might be a little bit of a sleeper here in this bracket. If they can get to that West Hills game, I think that's a low scoring game that would give them a chance to win.
Certainly would seem to set up a nice, then, you look at it down Fallbrook, like, okay, I like the road potentially for them. Way to set that up, Bodie. Maybe that's going to be in your championship predictions that you will be posting to Scorebook Live later today.
It might be. If not, maybe a sleeper team.
Oh yeah, there you go. The dark horses. Number 7, Imperial. Number 10, Valley Center. Let's close out the Division III bracket. Bodie DeSilva.
Yeah, so these two played at the end of September. It was a 25-22 Imperial overtime win, which definitely went a long way in terms of them getting to host when they get this rematch again. I'm going to go Valley Center to get this one done the second time through. Valley Center's been playing really well. They won all 4 games after that. They made a really rare early season coaching change, and I believe won 5 of 6 after that point. So feels like they're coming into the right time of the year, and I think they'll know exactly what to expect when they go back to Imperial.
Tommy Morris, your thoughts?
Yeah, Bodie, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was the second game with the new coach.
Yes. Yeah. September. Yeah. End of September, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. So you got to imagine not new coaching staff comes in. Second game, there's probably still little, wrinkles to iron out. And, by the end of the year, Valley Center was looking very good. You can tell by the difference between game 10 and game 1 was kind of astronomical. I like Valley Center here. And again, this is a team. I don't care what seed they are. I know it says 10. I would be very worried if I was on their side of the bracket.
Love to hear it. Let's move on to Division II. Del Norte, Scripps Ranch, La Jolla, and Rancho Bernardo all moving on to the next round. That has me excited, as I love me some Vikings. I love when the La Jolla Vikings are doing well. It is good for me. It is good for the show. It has me in a good mood. I like this bracket. Congratulations to that fact that 2 of those 4 teams are also first-year head coaches. That's a cool story that I'm sure Bodie will have something on eventually at Scorebook Live that you should check out or download the app for. It's a great way to just have the stories come to you if you download the app. Talking about the first round of games, though, Oceanside, Steel Canyon. Congrats to Oceanside. It's another one of the first-year head coaches making an impact, getting them back to the playoffs. Point Loma, Sand Pass Squall is the 12-5 game. Central Union versus Eastlake is the 6-11, and then Bishops hosting Brawley is the 7-10. Let's start with the 8-9. Bodie DeSilva, your thoughts on Oceanside, Steel Canyon?
Yeah, I think you can really go back and forth making a case for either of these here. They've had impressive results. They've had other games where you're not sure maybe what exactly happened. It'll be the 3rd time they've ever played. The first 2 were also in playoffs, so why not make the 3rd time in playoffs as well? I will go with Oceanside here in a very close one.
Do we have the results from the first 2 times they've played?
We do. 2004 was 34-10 for Oceanside, and 2019 was 26-19 for Oceanside.
Oh, so Oceanside undefeated currently against Steel Canyon, looking to maintain that perfect record is what you're saying.
Correct.
All right, we got a narrative there. Tommy Morris, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Division Two. I predict that Oceanside will be wearing their home black jerseys. Steel Canyon will be in the away whites. This game will take place in Oceanside, and the winner will play Del Norte. That is a correct prediction.
Fair enough, Tommy Morris. Love to hear it. We'll see if that does come true, though. Tommy's only shooting about 50% of getting the jerseys right on these games. Point Loma and San Pasqual, the 12-5. Bodie De Silva, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Point Loma here, and I think this is another one that maybe look out if they can get past this one. Always looking for that team that has to play week one that maybe can get past that quarterfinal round. I think Point Loma is a good candidate in this bracket. I like them to win at least first week and possibly beyond that.
Tommy Morris, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I believe Point Loma will be wearing their alternate black uniform. San Pasqual might be wearing their black alternate helmets, so it'll be a cool uniform matchup. I like the winner of this to go play Scripps Ranch afterwards.
It seems like Tommy was primed there to say that Point Loma was not a shoe-in for advancing through that one. Maybe not.
I did not say that. I said the winner will play.
I said you were primed and ready for it. Next game, Central Union and Eastlake. Bodie De Silva, your thoughts here on the Spartans playing host to the Titans?
Yeah, I like Central here. They were able to get their big-time pass rusher, Jared Martin, back. He missed several weeks. He was back in the game last week when they took down Brawley. I believe he had 2 sacks in that game. One of the better junior recruits, not just in the region, but in the entire country. A guy who's newer to football and has picked up it very quick. And we will see him at the Power 5 level in a couple years. So I think he makes a big difference, and I like Central to get by Eastlake in this one.
Tommy, pair of teams that both have blue and white in their color scheme. Help us navigate this one.
Yeah, I believe Central will be wearing their home uniforms. Granted, or given that they are the lower seed, Eastlake will be on the road traveling to Central. The winner will play La Jolla.
Fair enough, Tommy Morris. Thank you as always. Bishops number 7, Brawley number 10. And if you don't get the joke, you don't get the joke. This one, I am bummed that Central and Brawley are on the same side of the bracket. Was hoping maybe to get a bell game down the road, but this would be another part of that. See if Brawley can upset Bishops, or if Bishops maintains this horrendous luck of being technically good enough to be at D2. They're just not healthy enough. They're not deep enough. But Cash Herrera and company, like, they're young, so we'll see. This is a big test one for them. Bodie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I got my first look at Bishops last week. They played that matinee game on a Friday and was really impressed by what Cash did. And overall, just kind of getting the most out of what they have with their roster size. I was interested. This is the first time that these two teams have ever played or will play. So I like Bishops to move on, and going at Rancho Bernardo. Feels like we saw Bishops at Rancho Bernardo playoff game a couple of years ago.
Yes, we did. I believe that was the beginning of you being slowly converted to the truth about just how good pound for pound the Bishops coaching staff is.
And just the brutal field goal off the upright to end that game.
Yeah, that was rough. That was crazy. That was nuts. It's been a couple of nuts years for Bishops getting eliminated in really hyper dramatic ways in the playoffs between that one and then the UC game the year later. So primed to have this one, Brawley and Bishops, in some fireworks. Tommy, your thoughts?
Yeah, so La Jolla High's got a bye, which means that Bishops can use the field for their home game, so that'll be played there. They'll be home against Brawley, and the winner will travel to Rancho Bernardo to take on the Broncos.
I love you, man. Division 1, Torrey Pines, La Costa Canyon, El Camino, Mission Hills. Oh, wow. All the North County made it out with buys. Go figure. It's biased. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously.
Don't start that one.
No, seriously, though, on a real note, the competition was amazing this year. Every game that all of these teams played against all of these other teams were very close games. So congratulations to those 4 rising to the top. The rest of this bracket is still madness, and a lot of teams that I'm sure Bodie could schedule in his pencil in his dark horses in his articles that, again, you need to check out at Scorebook Live later today or by downloading that SB Live Sports app. Let's talk about the first game, Mater Dei Catholic and Madison, the 8-9 game. Bodie De Silva, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was interested to see that this is only the 3rd time they've played since Mater Dei Catholic changed over from Marian Catholic, much like the earlier game we talked about. Both of these previous ones were in playoffs as well. I like Mater Dei Catholic. I think they're just playing better at this point of the season. Madison, it's been up and down. I think defensively, you know what to count on. They had a shutout against University City to end the year. Offensively, it just doesn't seem like they've been in a rhythm all year. So I like Mater Dei. It feels like just another year of they had to start off against Cathedral, Lincoln, Carlsbad. They went out and they're playing their best ball right now.
Tommy Morris, your thoughts?
Yeah, so if these stats are correct, which they might not be, but the ones online that I'm seeing, you talk about load management. Anthony McMillan Jr., who's one of the best running backs in the county, only averaging 8.5 carries per game. Is that maybe to save him for the playoffs? I think there might be a little bit of that in there for Mater Dei. So if he's going to carry the ball, about 17 to 20 times a game instead of 8.5, this is a dangerous Mater Dei offense. I like the Crusaders here. And again, if they really were saving them for the playoffs or whatever it may be, I may be speculating. This is a team that has a very real chance to win the whole thing.
I mean, that could be very interesting to just be like, hey, look, we're home game, road game, bye or not, we're going to be in the D1 playoffs. So let's load manage this out to make sure we stay healthy for our best shot. Interesting way to look at that. Number 5, Saints playing host to number 12, Mira Mesa. Tommy, let's stay with you.
Yeah, I like Saints here. Mira Mesa's got maybe 2 of the better players in this game. I like Tyson Lyon. I like Chris Brown, and that connection is going to be lethal when they both go to college together next year too. But I like Saints here. Big win in the Holy Bowl. Again, Bodie, you're the better historian than me. I can't remember the last time Saints beat Cathedral. So they're coming off of a huge win, and I think they roll that into the playoffs and take this game.
Bodie, your thoughts?
Yeah, these two, it's certainly not the first time they've played. They first played in 1977, but I was more surprised that they haven't played since 2017. Feels like a while for Saints and Mira Mesa to get together, though. Yeah, the way Saints is playing, I know they're young. I think that's kind of taken a toll throughout the year, but they're extremely talented, and I think they get this one done.
Well, they also seem to have a quarterback that can run and throw. And when you got that kind of potential in the playoffs, it seems like it gives you a little bit of a favor. Tommy, do we have all-time numbers on that rivalry?
I know this will be the 25th matchup. I don't have.
We don't have losses.
I'd have to do it in a couple minutes.
No worries.
Is that including? Yeah, I was about to ask a really stupid question. Never mind.
No, please, no stupid question.
I was going to say, is that before the move? But obviously it is, because that was more than or less than 25 years ago. So that was about to be a very stupid question. So retract that. I retract that question.
No question. Number 6, Cathedral Catholic. Number 11, Ramona. Let's talk about this one, starting with you, Bodie DeSilva.
Yeah, I think Cathedral in league, they obviously didn't want to finish the way they did that way. I think that game was certainly a toss-up in my opinion, but I think they are getting a Ramona team that unfortunately has dealt with some injuries to end the year that way. So I think this is one where Cathedral comes in, takes care of business, and then potentially a really intriguing second round game, Cathedral at El Camino. It feels like it's been a while since those two have played.
Bodie DeSilva or Tommy Morris, your thoughts?
Yeah, Cathedral coming into this at 3-7, but I mean, they're playing one of the toughest schedules in the county, so you can't really take that into consideration. This is a team. Look, this is a team that is used to playing open division level opponents in Division I for them. Again, this is a team that doesn't like playing Division I. A lot of these Division I schools are happy to be there. They're not. They're happy in the open or nothing else. So they have a point to prove. I like Cathedral here, and I think again, this is a team that I've said it already about some of these middle seeded teams. This is a team that's very dangerous in this Division I bracket.
Tommy, let's stick with you for the last game here in Division I. That's number 7, San Marcos. Number 10, Poway.
It's a tough one. I mean, San Marcos gets their quarterback back, and they look completely better. It'd be interesting to see where they would be seated if they had him the whole season. I like San Marcos here, and I hate sounding like a broken record. This is a team that it sets up another Discovery Bowl if they win this game to play Mission Hills, and this is a team that if they win that game, I think have a very real chance to go on and win the whole thing.
Bodie DeSilva, your thoughts?
Yeah, one last historian note. So this is the 32nd time they've played, but it's the first time since 2003. So I'm kind of shocked by that. Feels like Poway and San Marcos, I know in other sports,
not that far apart,
have had some great baseball matchups over the years, but just in football have not played since 2003. That was a 21-13 Poway win. I don't think that'll have any effect considering maybe even some staff members were not born at that point. With that said, San Marcos playing so well. I saw them last Thursday. That defense, I believe, had 12 sacks in the win over Del Norte. I mean, the way they're coming at you from each edge right now, it felt like they had 15 guys on defense at times going against Del Norte. So I like San Marcos here, and I think they're potentially one that maybe can get a couple wins out of it. They got their quarterback Crete Makahele back healthy. He's had 2 games now, and yeah, if they can move the ball the way their defense is playing, I like them as a sleeper in this bracket.
All right, let's get to open division. Lincoln versus Helix is the 1-4. Granite Hills, Carlsbad is the 2-3. Start with the Lincoln Helix game. Let's start with you, Tommy Morris.
We should also mention this is happening next week.
Yes.
So if you want to go watch this on Friday, you're going to be way too early to the game. You got to wait another week. So I like Lincoln, man. I mean, they've given me no reason to not pick them. You've got stars on defense, stars on offense. They've got it just feels like this is a team that is kind of head and shoulders above the rest of the teams in San Diego right now. They're again, no reason to not pick them here. But Helix having a great year, and they'll give them a good shot. But I like Lincoln here.
Bodie DeSilva.
Yeah, one note for those that may want to see both these games. The good news is that Carlsbad Granite game has been moved up to the Thursday, the 9th. So if you want to see both of them, maybe you want to scout for both of them, whatever it may be, you have the chance to see both. Yeah, I think, as Tommy said, no reason to pick against Lincoln. They've been dominant throughout the year, really in every phase of the game, every position group you look at. So Helix has had a great year. I know they'll certainly give him a shot. I'm more excited about these matchups than I think what we saw last year, where kind of you knew how those semis were going to go. Maybe we get an upset, but I don't think it's going to be Helix beating Lincoln. I like Lincoln a lot in this one.
Go on to the Granite Hills Carlsbad game that, as Bodie mentioned, will be played Thursday, November 9th. So that's convenient. Bodie, let's start with you.
Yeah, with Carlsbad being at home, they definitely had some shaky weeks there. Offensively, defensively, they were in that game against Torrey Pines. It was close. Then they were in a shootout against La Costa. They ended the year, I think, the way they'd want to. They went 31-3 over El Camino, kind of got everything back the way they wanted to. Two undefeated teams here, but I'm going to lean Carlsbad at home. I just have more trust in them right now.
Yeah, this one is close though. Tommy Morris, do you got the road doggies here or nah?
You ready for me to shock the world?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I like Granite Hills here by more than a touchdown. I think this will, I mean, Carlsbad, have they been kind of sleepwalking through the end of the schedule potentially, knowing that, you know, they don't really have anyone in their league that's going to give them a challenge, but there have been some very close games in the league that have surprised me and give me a little bit of worry for Carlsbad. I like Granite Hills here. I think this is a team that, I mean, everyone knows they're good, but I don't think people realize just how good they are. Helix is a very good team, and that overtime game was not, you know, that it's not a fluke. I think Helix is going to give Lincoln their best game of the year, but I think Granite Hills is better than Helix, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. This is a team that I think probably has the best shot of beating Lincoln if we're going to look past this game to the next one. So I like Granite Hills here by about 10 points. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just kind of what I think is going to happen.
Oh my goodness, Tommy, I've never loved you more. Having the Bodie, please.
No, I think the one thing to add, it having seen Granite a bunch last year and then being at that game against Helix a couple weeks back, is they are so big on both sides of the line. I knew they had some guys up front on the defensive side, but I was really impressed how big that offensive line is. So definitely gives them hope. And it's tough to pick against a team that's undefeated, 18 in a row now, whatever it is. Clearly have the right thing working. And I think most impressively, Zach Benitez, their freshman quarterback, has come in and done everything they needed him to, and especially to step in that streak with the pressure. It feels like he's just ready for every challenge that's come his way.
And I will say this, I think you see a lot of improvement with the younger kids who would go up to varsity. So I'm not even going to count Zach as a freshman anymore. In my head, he's a sophomore plus. He's already had enough game experience, especially the Helix game. I don't think there's going to be more pressure on him than that. That's about as tough as it can be, and he thrived in it. So I am not worried about a freshman quarterback if I'm Granite Hills.
Yeah, we would like to officially be in on the Zach Benitez train as a show. We are very much in on this. Good on you, Granite Hills, for just having the balls to do that, to put that kind of team in the hands of a freshman. Requires some trust, and it seems to be paying off. Those games are next week, but we still wanted to get to them now so you guys can start living with Tommy Morris's earth-shattering opinion and let that run wild. Get you Temecula parking lot mad, potentially down the line. Thank you guys as always. Anything that we missed? I'm assuming we are all good from playoffs round number 1. Yes.
Yeah, well, we'll be back to see all the ones we missed next week.
Oh man, we're good. We're gonna shoot 100% this year. We're gonna get every game right through all rounds of all the playoffs. And
if we don't, that's why we stop putting out the graphics with our picks. You'll never know.
Exactly. Who audits the podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
On that note, we'll talk to you guys next week.